You're listening to the RMPodcast, the official podcast of Red Moon Productions. Here are your hosts, Brandon Davidson, Keith Cheatham, and Sean Sebastian. Enjoy.
One of your hosts, Brandon Davidson, alongside our normal new host, Sean Sebastian, and... Nine. You want your Apple Watch, I know.
I want to make noises, but I can't.
Why not?
Because it won't, they can't hear it yet.
Oh, yeah, not yet.
They can't hear it yet.
Music's
I want to, but I really don't, because I'm tired of everything on there.
I'm not changing it.
I'm tired of it.
I refuse to change
I really
it.
want it's working.
Maybe one day for your birthday.
I'm going to start choosing like the longest one and playing it every episode.
If you're good.
Show me the money.
Oh, that's not the longest one.
No.
There it is. I missed it.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
That's your favorite.
It takes too long.
But it's so good.
It is good.
It's such a good one.
It actually, when
it
it's
just
appropriate.
represents everything we talk about these
when it's
days.
appropriate, it's good.
We got a great show.
Honestly, the one I don't ever really like that doesn't have a lot of
It's all the
use.
Mario stuff.
Yeah, the Mario stuff doesn't
Yeah.
have a lot of uses, and then this one often doesn't have.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
There's not a lot of situations I need that one.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
The other ones work out pretty
I'll
well.
get rid of that one. I'll get rid of
I mean,
that
it
one.
is an
There's no
iconic
reason.
saying, but I can't
But
really.
no, yeah, you don't really use that in common speech. I was kind of hoping we would.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll come up
like
with.
the one I use when I go to the bathroom.
There you go.
No,
I'm
what's
like,
going to happen is
We're
we're
gonna need a bigger toilet.
we're going to get rid of it, and then they're going to come up with all sorts of reasons we could use it. That's what's
That'll
gonna
happen. I'll be like, dang it, I need that.
Why do
button
we
back."
not have? You're going to need a bigger boat.
Oh.
No, we got a big show.
We do. We have
got
a
a great
big
big
show.
We got some unbearable talent that
We
can't
got
handle.
a big review and big headlines and
Big
a big
old
vices.
headlines.
Everything's big except for us. We're small.
Wow.
That was beautiful.
I think your mic just like,
Yeah, you killed it.
I don't know if it peaked or if it sounded like it's out.
Oh, it's out.
He broke his mic.
It works, right?
No, it's not. It can't hear you.
What?
I think.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I just did the pow thing.
Let me try to. Hold on. There it is. Now try it.
Pow.
Oh, there he is.
Oh. What happened?
The board. The board. It went out on the board. There it is.
Oh.
Now you're back. Hold on. Try it again.
I can't hear it.
Uh-oh.
There he is.
Wait a minute. All
No,
right,
he's
all right,
back.
we're
All
good.
right.
We're
Sean,
Wow.
Sean killed it. With
He
his
killed
pow.
it. Literally, he
you got
killed.
yeah. You can't do pow.
Well,
You got to do it away, like you
Is
can't
he-
do it
Is
close.
he saying pow? What's he saying?
It's the Catalina wine mixer.
Yeah.
Catalina.
Audi 5000, a Catalina wine mixer.
I'm still amazed.
Like
Sean,
Kobayashi.
Sean killed the board. He killed it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Killed it.
Actually, hey, I can hear myself now.
Yeah,
I know.
I couldn't even
You
hear
need-
myself.
You
before.
needed that. You needed to pow to clear it out.
Yeah.
That's what it was. There was
I
just
think
some
the
dust in
my
there. We
microphone
needed
had
to-
it's got allergy problems.
Yeah.
I used Navage on it.
Oh,
Lavage.
Claritin wasn't working. So.
No.
Ah. All right.
Claritin.
Should we dive into our review? Because I know Sean's
I
got
don't
to
know.
piss.
Let's see.
I got a wee wee.
He's got a wee.
We're only 4 minutes
You
in.
got to get your
yeah,
Apple
we can
Watch.
still talk. We can talk for a few minutes.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, I mean, what are we
Icebreaker.
going to talk about? You want to talk about Johnny Depp? What do you want to talk about?
I don't have anything
that's
to
going to
talk-
be in our
that's-
headlines.
That's a headline.
Oh, okay.
Hollywood Troubles is the theme of the
Alec
show.
Baldwin and Johnny Depp are in the headline.
Talking about
Yeah.
that Rust update, all the body cam footage. I've leaked a
Yeah, I
lot
saw
of it.
some of that.
I,
yeah.
I did
I leaked
Kroger's.
a lot of it. Yeah.
You
I
leaked
did the
it.
Kroger's pickup thing again, and they actually got it right for once. So that
Wow,
was
that
impressive.
should be part of a story time
My
segment
God.
right
They
there.
got it
What
right.
Kroger was it?
It was Upper Hunters.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They got it right for once. I was impressed.
It was
Okay.
Upper Hunters. It wasn't Valley Station.
Lower
Well, that's the one I always go to, and
It
they
wasn't
still mess it up.
Southwest.
So-
Southwest doesn't do
Yeah,
anything.
no, all of them suck.
Everywhere sucks.
The click list is
nobody,
terrible.
nobody wants to actually.
I've
do a good
gone
job
through
anymore.
on my own grocery shopping and not dependent on click lists, and I've seen the people doing click lists,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
trust them.
I've
No.
seen the people doing it when I pick my. I literally.
I've seen the teenagers
If you
doing
want
it.
junk food, Kroger has it right now.
Yeah.
But if you want real food, they don't have anything.
Well, and that's the thing. The people picking would have no idea what real food is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're still eating Easy Mac and ramen noodles.
I actually-
my
They're all
diet.
teenagers.
I had that
Yeah.
happen. I was in there once doing my own shopping, and I went through, I didn't go through the self-checkout because every now and then if you get the right people at Kroger's at Upper Hunter, it's amazing. Like, they actually sort things in the bags, and I can just quickly. So the lady cashing me out was a younger girl. And
Cash me outside. How about that?
And she was just amazed because she's like, you like to cook, don't you? And I was like, yeah, I cook. And she's like, you could tell because everything I was buying was ingredients. They weren't like in microwavable stuff or junk food. It was all
on in the Kroger checkout line.
I don't know.
She was like, you use Head and
back.
Shoulders, don't you?
Ooh.
Your hair is so soft. You
Dr.
use Dr. Bronner's.
Dr. B's.
You smell
like-
I
you
care
smell like
about my
mint.
hair.
Peppermint.
Yeah.
Peppermint and lavender. So wait, did you by any chance just say, hey,
What's
come
that
on over
toothbrush?
now?
What's
I
that
don't
toothbrush you
know.
got?
She had a mask on, so I didn't know if she was cute or not.
What's that electric
Why does that
toothbrush you
matter?
got?
I'm just being a dick.
Wow.
Like, I mean, I really didn't. It doesn't, but I just wanted to say that because
Oh.
it sounded like a smart ass thing to say.
Wow.
Hey,
And that's what I do.
You're not hiding nothing. That's
In
that's
all,
what the world
in
needs.
all
though.
things, my responses are either humor or smart aleckness. So
I'm telling
know.
you, Elon takes over
One of the
Twitter, and
two.
this guy becomes a dick all of a sudden. What's the
Yeah.
deal?
yeah,
All right, we're done. We're
I
done
think
with our
we
icebreaker.
can talk about.
the unbearable
Nicolas
weight of
Cage.
massive talent.
Yeah, it's.
Talk about
You just
the
pulled a
unbearable
Nick Cage.
weight of my bladder right now.
Listen,
go.
listen. We don't have to stretch this out a full 10 minutes. We can go ahead and play the review.
We can, but I almost want to stretch this out as long as we can
Just to see
keep,
how long I can last.
see if Sean's gonna piss his
That's
pants.
gonna go everywhere.
I got a great video on my phone before the show of y'all having to throw on your shirts real quick because they did
I
not
did
have
the
their Red
truffle
Moon
shuffle.
shirts on 30 seconds
We're
before
ready
the
to
show
start
started.
the show.
I did the truffle shuffle.
That's right.
We'll post it on Facebook later. You can
If
watch
I
it.
get y'all's permissions, I'll definitely post
You
it.
can post my
Yeah.
truffle shuffle on Facebook.
right.
I trimmed the chest hair, so
I think maybe
it's a
it'll-
whole different
Maybe
beast
it'll
in
get
there right
Hey,
now.
everybody.
You're braver than me. I wouldn't.
Maybe we'll get views.
Except I don't know.
I
Who
know
knows?
because you're shallow.
Maybe
unlike
the
me.
Kroger girl. Maybe the Kroger girl will see that and be like, "I want that man.
Maybe.
He can cook.
I
And
mean,
I love what I
he
see."
uses
Even
Axe
with the
body
mask
spray.
on, she looked like she was cute. So unless she had a hair lip or something, we're okay.
Who cares?
No. Well,
I bet you wonder if she likes soap.
Kidding. You gotta have some standards.
She got eczema.
all the poor people with hair lips are like, "What's wrong with you?" We're being terrible.
I'm gonna
right
be honest
now.
with you.
We're being
As a kid, when I heard hair lip, I heard it.
I thought
I heard it in a movie with Billy Crystal, and he said it in some movie. I don't remember
Yeah.
what movie it is, but when I heard it as a kid, I literally thought it meant like a lip with like
hair,
a
yeah.
hair growing out, of
Yeah.
it, like
Yeah.
a mole.
I didn't know.
I didn't know that it was a
Yeah.
poor defect. like it's making
a
fun
Joaquin
of.
Phoenix. Yeah.
Yes.
That's a hair lip.
That's a hair lip.
No, he fixed his.
See, I thought
Well, but-
he looked like he got busted up or something.
It did look. Yeah, it looked like he got hit, and it
Yeah.
like his tooth cut his lip. Actually, I think that may be what happened or something.
know.
I don't know, but that's what a hair lip would look like.
Well,
Just-
sometimes they're really bad, like way worse than that. Walking Phoenix is.
I
yeah.
love our opening discussions.
Uh,
oh my god.
some people
so
just want us to
good.
rant
There you
like
go.
this.
hair
That's
lip.
yeah.
Wait, show it.
Oh, that's a cleft lip.
Yeah.
That's a
yeah,
cleft
yeah. Is
lip.
that not the same thing?
Well, yeah, they call it hair
A
lip.
hair lip?
Cleft
I
lip is
thought it was
the
a-
nickname
Why
for
do
it.
they
Yeah.
call it a hair lip? Just
I have
call
no
it a
idea.
cleft lip. That
Yeah.
sounds more clinical.
What
Yeah.
is it? What does it look? Which one did you pull up?
Oh, I
did
just
you
pulled
pull
up-
up a medical
Oh,
one?
he
Yeah,
he
yeah.
pulled up like a baby with the.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
born
got
with it.
Time Magazine.
From Apple News. You subscribe.
It's
Oh,
it was
man.
a BS article. Hold on, we gotta. Can you see?
No,
it?
I could
Trying
see
to-
it.
Okay.
I could see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it.
Very rare. Fewer than 20,000 U.S. cases per year.
Really? Because I've seen a lot of people with that.
Have you seen
well,
20,000 people with
They're
it?
all in Hollywood.
No, but I'm just
because
saying.
if you get a hair lip, it's like, oh, it's a beauty. It's like a mole now.
I
you
don't
know?
think so.
You could-
It's a
No.
huge gap. Like
Okay,
Yeah.
hey.
Well,
a
they
lot
have
of-
they all
they
have
fix
it
'em.
fixed as a kid. No adult is living still looking like that. They all
Normally-
got it
normally
I'm
fixed.
just
it's
saying.
repaired, yeah.
Nowadays, it's like, hey,
We
embrace
send
it.
send people over to Africa to fix kids like that.
That's not true.
No, we do.
I
There
thought they
are
come
American surgeons that go
Here. Oh,
overseas
yeah.
to do that.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I thought you meant
In
like
the field.
Americans go over there.
But
to
yeah,
get it done.
No,
Walking-
not just normal
like, that would be
people.
to
Like,
get
they
it
don't
done
send
to
me
them.
over
But
there
yeah,
to sew
Joaquin
that
Phoenix
up.
used
Like,
to have one. His is fixed, like because that's. I mean, you still see the scar, but
Yeah.
you know, it's no longer a gap there, like because it
My-
is. It's just a gap that goes.
I'm
your
just
lips
saying,
don't
people
meet together.
embrace that stuff
Yeah.
now. They embrace their
he
abnormalities.
had it in space camp
Why
when he
not?
was a kid.
Yeah.
So he's had it his whole life. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get on to our review.
We're 10 minutes in. We're good.
Gosh, here is our review of Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
You never know what you're going to get with a Nicolas Cage film. The man has been in everything. From serious dramas to blockbuster popcorn flicks, from indies to B-movie cult hits. The actor himself has garnered a cult following for his eclectic films and eccentric personality both on and off the screen. And when the trailer for The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent dropped, many fans were thrilled by the promise of its potential. A self-aware Nicolas Cage film that pokes fun of all of the outlandish things fans have come to love about the actor. It seemed like the type of comedy that could bring Nick Cage back into the limelight, not that he ever went anywhere. Directed by newcomer Tom Gormican and starring, of course, Nicolas Cage as a fictionalized version of himself, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent tells the story of actor Nick Cage, who after being rejected for a role he believes would put him back in the public eye, reluctantly accepts a job attending a millionaire's birthday party in Mallorca. There, Cage meets Javi, portrayed by Pedro Pascal, the man paying to spend time with Cage, and quite possibly the world's biggest Nicolas Cage fan. Unfortunately, the CIA has their eye on Javi, who is the head of a drug cartel and has recently kidnapped the daughter of a local political candidate cracking down on drugs. The CIA soon enlists Cage to spy on Javi in order to discover the whereabouts of the kidnapped girl and ultimately take him down. The only problem is Cage has found a real friendship and connection with Javi, a man who seems to genuinely appreciate him for him. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is a hilarious film. Hardcore fans of Nick Cage will not be disappointed as he chews the scenery and brings forth a performance catered to the most outlandish and eccentric stereotypes he is known for. Pedro Pascal as Javi likewise is brilliant, matching Cage's energy and eccentricity. The pair together share incredible comedic chemistry, and when the film focuses solely on them and their antics, it leaves you in stitches. It's easy to see both actors had a blast making this film, and the movie was a lot of fun to watch. But ultimately, outside of their friendship, the film never dives deeper into the emotional connections on display. The film spends a good amount of time on Cage's ex-wife and daughter, and his desire to be a better father to his daughter is a running through line of the film's plot that never holds the emotional weight it should, and therefore never has a truly satisfying payoff. The movie's plot is fairly straightforward, starting as something more character-driven and descending into generic action comedy, all of which is satired and made fun of in the film itself. The movie is self-aware and makes sure everyone watching knows this. Despite this, however, I do wish it had been more creative in its plot. The film doesn't try to subvert expectations and follows the plot it sets for itself to a T. And while this in and of itself is part of the film's joke, it doesn't feel particularly clever, just lazy. There are plenty of Easter eggs and references to Cage's past works, and many of the rumors and common knowledge surrounding Cage's career are addressed and poked fun of. The legacy Nicolas Cage has made for himself is on full display, and the movie understands the cult appeal that draws fans to Cage's films. There are definitely things the movie gets right, and ultimately the film delivers on what I feel it set out to accomplish, and I did enjoy the ride. I just personally would have liked to have gotten a bit more. While I found this film hilarious and a great film for those who love all of the bizarre and iconic roles Cage has taken on, a little subverting of expectations and more emotional depth would have taken a fun comedic film and turned it into a true iconic culmination of all things Nicolas Cage. As is, though, the film is still worth checking out and never short on laughs. I give The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent 3 out of 4 stars.
3 out of 4 stars. Yeah. For Nicolas Cage in Face Off 2. So, let's dive deep.
He wants to return to that.
Sean?
Even though he died. So, but,
What do you
know.
give this movie?
3.5.
3.5. Woo!
I absolutely loved it.
I liked it a lot.
Keith is right in the middle of both of us. 2.5.
Wow.
That's what I gave it.
Yeah.
But we'll divulge.
Brandon's being a
We'll talk.
snob.
I am. I'm being stingy. Let's talk about it. 3 out of 4 stars.
I thought it met my expectations. I expected just a goofy, quirky Nicolas Cage comedy that would make me laugh, and it did. I mean, it made me laugh, and that's really all I wanted. So the fact that it did make me laugh left me satisfied. I did knock off, the star down to 3 just because I did wish some of the stuff between I thought the story wise it was fine for what they were going for, but I did want maybe a little bit more emotional depth between him and his daughter and ex-wife. And outside of that, even though I know it was part of the joke that the movie ended up being exactly like the movie they were making inside of the movie, a movie within a movie, I still kind of wanted a little bit more subverting expectation. I guess I honestly would have been happier with it if it had been a character-driven movie, which they joked about
they talk
in the
about,
movie.
yeah.
But I understand why they didn't go that way and what they did. But I honestly think it would have just been better if they hadn't tried to throw in some of the more action elements and just left it as the quirky, funny, character-driven comedy between Pedro Pascal and Nicolas Cage. Because I really thought their comedic chemistry was hilarious. I thought they were great together. So, but otherwise, I mean, I was satisfied, and I did like the movie.
Yeah. Sean, what about you?
I agree with all of it. I would say the half star came off because of the very same reason. Like I appreciated the movie within a movie, and I appreciated that they joked about it being a movie within a movie. Like I liked that wall being broken down, but I also felt like the lack of the stuff with the wife and the daughter fit the fact that Nicolas Cage in the film and maybe also in real life, because I don't know how much of his real life translates into who he is in the film. I know he's playing himself, but there's certain things that aren't, factual.
It's a fictional
But
version
again,
of himself,
in the movie, he's all about himself. He's very selfish, and I felt like the fact that they kind of left those two characters out of it a little bit played into the selfishness. It was his story.
Yeah.
It was about him, but I would have appreciated a little bit more. I actually would have appreciated more emotional depth to the fact that he was this. He says it and jokes about it throughout the film. Well, we never really went anywhere, or I was never really. Is that how he says it? Never really went anywhere.
Oh, I'm back. Not that I ever.
Went anywhere. But I'm like, no, you did Lord of War, National Treasure, Leaving Las Vegas, Guarding Tess. You did all of these fantastic films, and even really good '90s action films, and then you did Driving Angry and Bangkok Dangerous and all these weird no, your career went in the gutter for a long time, and I do feel like this is jujitsu. Oh God, I forgot about that one. But I felt like this is a movie that's returning him to theaters, because he hasn't been in a movie that's been in theaters for a decade.
Yeah.
And so the fact I do feel like this is a somewhat of a comeback, and I wanted a little bit more emotion from him in the fact that his career's kind of been spiraling down the drain, and now
turned this down 4 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he said what convinced him was the director actually talked to him personally and appealed to him. And some of the ideas he had, like originally he said the character he sees, the younger version of him, was based off the Con Air version, and he disagreed. And really what convinced him to come back was that they were receptive to him changing things in the movie to fit who he thought he was more.
Yeah.
So he could be like, I don't think this really represents me. We should do it this way.
I ain't gonna lie, when I watched the interview, it was kind of pompous.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, yeah.
And
I didn't watch it. I just read the...
in such a self-referential way of like, oh, I understand me better than anybody.
Yeah.
But it was funny because he even said, like, kind of also what sold him was he, like, the whole, it was kind of funny when it seems like the line that he throws in there about I forget the obscure, like, film that he talks about.
The German
film.
or whatever he's
I
talking
never
about.
thought that was that obscure.
No. I'm saying that
the Cabinet of Caligari.
Yeah. He said apparently that was, like, the director based on knowing that about him was something he could tell he did his research. He went back and saw interviews that he had done in the past and knew a little bit about how he viewed the film industry and what his tastes were. So he knew that the director wasn't trying to make it necessarily, and granted, from a standoff perspective of any celebrity who's willing to kind of poke fun at themselves.
Yeah.
Because clearly the movie, there's plenty of that in there
He
where
felt
he
like
overacts.
it wasn't something that was purely making fun of him.
Right.
He was just kind of laughing at some of the things throughout his career. Like, he didn't feel, I guess, offended by
Well, no, I think he even says it in the film. He's like, you never crap on yourself as an actor, and he's like, you always you take was it Pedro Pascal tells him something about or somebody says something about a bad role that he was in, and he was like, but you never crap on yourself. Like, that's, as an actor, you don't look at your performances as bad. You look at it as, that was okay, I can do better, or I've done better, but you never, like, crap on yourself. And he says that, and I think that plays into his, like, he's not ashamed of doing jujitsu.
Oh, no.
And no, he feels like he delivered that movie. You know, and that's I thought that was great.
Every role he does, he gives it.
He
like
gives it
100,
everything he's got,
so.
and it's
I
sometimes
don't
it's
know
funny
about
because it's
that.
in these terrible
don't know.
movies, but.
It may be, but looking at
Again,
Any
Nicolas
actor's
Cage's
gonna say that.
I just love it when he goes into character in the film when he's
Looking-
like playing into Pedro Pascal's little.
Oh, I love that too.
Oh man, he
Yeah.
goes deep into it, and you can, and I'm like, that's
Part of that
Nicolas
is the
Cage.
amusing factor of him laying into the over dramatization.
Yes,
and
yeah.
he knows that's what Pedro Pascal
Wanted, yeah,
wants.
yeah.
Yeah.
But and I get that, and I love that he does that as a character. But I think part of it was him knowing and humorously poking at how pompous these celebrities can be when they don't make fun of themselves. But at the same time, nobody wants to go out there, regardless of how bad or how amazing your career is, and feel like you can't laugh at yourself or at least take criticism at certain aspects of who you are. Because he even brought that up in the interview. He was talking about why he accepted the film. He was like, I definitely felt like the evolution this Nick takes in the movie is part of what I took in real life in terms of knowing who I was back when I made Con Air and when I was coming up and I was getting famous. And he said I was the jerk. I was the one who walked around acting like my crap didn't stink. And I at least like that aspect of knowing any actor who can come to earth, down to earth in that regard, has respect in the sense that they don't try to act greater than like they are, God's gift to this earth.
Yeah.
But of course, when you're in a role, you have to, you transform to fit that role.
Yeah.
And I don't think, while there are some actors or celebrities who would no doubt admit and say, no, every performance I accept, I give 100%. But I'm like, okay, now let's escape the cameras. Let's go over here and just talk and BS.
Do you really think you gave 100%
Yeah.
on that?
And I guarantee you
Yeah.
there's going to be a heart-to-heart. They're going to be like, all right, no, I phoned it in on that day.
I think most.
I definitely did
would
give it
agree
my all.
in most cases, but knowing like how eccentric Nicolas Cage is and the fact that I feel like
True.
he probably would be like, oh no, I did, and you could argue maybe he didn't, but I think to him,
No, and I'm not saying there aren't
Yeah,
those
yeah.
who
Oh,
are.
yeah, yeah.
We definitely know Daniel Day-Lewis probably 100%. I mean,
method
You go-
actors,
yeah,
you know,
method
they
actors.
go all
Yeah.
in. They go all in.
they take it a little too far.
And for me also, the director Tom Gormican, this is like his first thing. Like he's done some smaller stuff, but like this is his first theatrical, like bigger picture film. So I'm like, for it being his first one, I didn't think as a comedy it was too bad. I mean, yeah, there's definitely room to grow, but seeing as a basic nobody in the directing field is doing this movie all about Nicolas Cage, it's kind of like, I just.
I will say it definitely had more substance.
I think with a different director, it could have been more stylized. But I mean, again, he came up with this. Like, this is his film, so like no one else.
I thought
it, so.
I thought it was pretty good. The homage to Nick Cage's career throughout the film was another thing. Like, if I'm not like a super fan or nothing like that, but I'll watch a movie with him in it, especially nowadays because it's going to be a lake movie. But it's
Willy's Wonderland.
Willy's Wonderland was awful. I
But it was great for that
Yes,
reason.
exactly.
was
Yeah,
terrible,
it's
but it was
entertaining.
great.
Exactly. He can entertain, no doubt.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's cars in the movie that are featured in the thing. There's talk of how he did his own stunts for Gone in 60. It's true. The room with all the
Memorabilia.
the memorabilia and collectibles and stuff it's because he has a lot of stuff from his own sets, and there's lines in the film that are quotes from his movies, and the Nicky is just the persona
That was my
taken.
favorite part.
They
Yeah.
actually took that from
I forget-
a British show that he did.
Yeah.
Back at the early point in his career, he did a British show where he like showed up with this leather jacket and a bleeding heart, or what was the?
I think you're
It's
close.
like the shirt has something hard. It's like
I can't remember the name of
but
the show.
Yeah, yeah.
But that was the change he made. is
Yeah.
He thought that character represented younger him better than
Yeah.
Con Air him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like there's a lot of throwback to his
Yeah.
career throughout, in some of his, and even how it starts out with them watching Con Air.
Yeah. Yes.
I thought was
Yeah.
freaking
I
hilarious.
thought the beginning like really nailed it.
Yeah.
And honestly, for me, I mean, Nicolas Cage was fantastic, but I honestly enjoyed Pedro Pascal's performance
Yeah.
more. I thought he was hilarious.
That's different for him.
And that is.
Yeah.
He is definitely, I think, someone right now that has done a lot of different like character roles, and that's not something I really expected from Pedro Pascal. Like when you see him in Game of Thrones, I didn't expect to see him move on to something like Mandalorian and then a comedy like this, and then now he's going to be in
The Last of Us.
The Last of Us, and
Yeah.
I am interested because I do think he's a good actor.
Yeah.
But like the
no doubt.
the LSD scene, I
Oh,
thought was
man,
hilarious.
yeah.
Like I never pictured Pedro Pascal with this goofy grin driving this car, and I'm like, he nailed it.
Oh, that was funny too when Nick Cage he does that joke about the Marvel and Star Wars, and it's like he played Ghost Rider, and then Pedro Pascal's the Mandalorian.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it was
that's
really
true.
funny that he's poking fun at both of their.
Well,
you
he's
know,
a huge Marvel fan, so
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
that was funny that
Yeah.
he's poking fun in the movie, but I think he has
has
Ghost Rider or somebody or Iron Man tattooed on him.
Yeah,
one of
but
the
he
two.
also is one of the very few owners of the very first Superman comic, the
Oh, yeah.
action comic, Superman comic.
I knew that. Yeah,
Like he has one of those.
he's
It's
a
like
big
worth
comic
millions of
book fan,
dollars.
Yeah,
All I know is that I
I really wish we could have got Mullet Cage in the Superman Tim Burton.
Oh,
That
now
would-
that
Well,
yeah.
it probably
Yeah.
would have been terrible, but I would have loved.
Well,
to
and that's the
watch it.
thing. To me, there were much more cameos. Not cameos. I would say I was expecting to be inundated with certain aspects of Nicolas Cage's
Kind of
career.
like an Easter egg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
and I almost thought it was funny that I know they didn't want to be too cliche with certain like lines or scenes or even characters from his movies because again, the story of the movie itself, it has its own story in Nicolas Cage world, and I get that.
Yeah.
However, I thought while you want to kind of poke fun at the cult, creation of surrounding Nick Cage the actor, you then kind of do a 180 in the sense that you don't make the movie really Easter egg or poking fun at that because you may think, I guess, it could, get too old too quick. And that is true. Yeah, it's a balancing act. But then they kind of dive into the cliche of we're going to go meta, which for me, I've seen one too many movies, I guess. And maybe this was my straw that broke the camel's back. Not in a bad way. Again, I liked the film. I laughed throughout. I thought it was funny. But it was just this whole, we're going to joke and talk about a movie we want to make from this natural, realistic perspective, and then the movie unfolds this way, and then wham bam transitions here and there. There were a couple cool transitions I thought that they did well with the passage of time and showcasing, from one instance to the next. Thought that was done well. But overall, at the end of the film, I just kept thinking, we've seen this commentary before. We've seen this trick before. Hell, I even mentioned to Keith before we recorded, I was like, The Matrix did exactly this and made fun of the fact that
The Matrix 4.
Yeah, The Matrix 4 talks about, it's like, okay, here, you all wanted a rehash of something we've already seen. We didn't want to make this, but the studio said, no, it's ticking time bomb. We got to get back into the series because otherwise the time's going to escape us and we're not going to be able to revisit it. So then they make a movie that mocks that. And I almost thought that was a better way of representing the creation of what the filmmakers wanted to do because they were like, we didn't even want to come back to this story. What we did was done 20 years ago, but the studio's making us. And in this, it was like, no, we want to make this movie and we want to kind of make fun, but yet we're going to joke about the idea that the studio wants us to make a certain kind of action buddy comedy film.
Yeah.
And then we're actually going to do that.
Yeah.
And then we're going to throw in these over the top but not so over-the-top action sequences that are kind of bland simply because it's not that type of movie.
Yeah.
And
No,
that
I
was
get
the
it.
only
Yeah.
thing that rubbed me the wrong way is I'm like, once we're in the pitch that you already are giving us, I was like, okay, but you're taking me now out of the experience of seeing the bromance that I want to see that you've already teased me with.
Throwing it back into the 90s action flick.
Yeah. And honestly, it was like, it wasn't bad. I didn't hate it. Obviously, I laughed throughout. And I will say, it was like there were moments where I was getting pulled away. And as soon as I would get pulled away, they'd snap me right back in with some kind of, a scene like the LSD moment. Or even, I will say, the part in the trailer where they're climbing the wall, I thought that was going to be one scene too many that they showed that was funny.
Well done, yeah.
But it was actually well done. And they do it really well in the movie, and it was actually a scene that played out better in the movie than it does in the trailer.
Yeah.
So overall, it was like, no, I wasn't ecstatic walking out of the theater. It was a good movie. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Definitely thought some of the pulling of the tugging of the heartstrings, especially like you mentioned in the review with the family. Again, it was almost like pick one story or the other.
Yeah.
Is this going to be a story about him redeeming himself with his family, or is this going to be a story about him and Pedro Pascal and their friendship?
I felt like it was a story of him redeeming himself with himself through a lot of the film.
And I think that was the largest theme. I think some of the drug cartel story could have been done away with, which I know that's where the action picks up at the end and how they bring that in. But honestly, I just felt like that was the weakest part of the movie. If they had focused more on his relationship with Pedro Pascal and his relationship with his family and him redeeming himself, like maybe him redeeming himself and his relationship with his family through Pedro Pascal, I would have been more satisfied. Just because I didn't think the drug cartel storyline added much of anything other than the action pieces.
It was very cliche.
But I mean, again, I did
even the
enjoy
daughter
movie.
being kidnapped was very
Yeah.
I felt like that was very Taken-esque, and it was
Well,
but
and even
it was
the
funny because they
girl-
joke about it. It's like, no, we can't do the girl being kidnapped,
Yeah.
and then their daughter gets
Gets
kidnapped, and
kidnapped,
I'm
yeah.
just
Well,
like, okay.
and it's also funny at that moment because it's a reference to what you see at the beginning of the film, and I'm like, the only payoff is literally because it starts the movie with they're watching Con Air and loving Nick Cage, and then spoiler alert, if you want to go see it, don't listen, turn it, mute it off. She gets saved by Nicolas Cage, and that's the only payoff we get.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, it's just kind of pointless.
There are
it's like, why?
2 kidnappings in the movie, and the first one really, like, if you're going to kidnap the daughter at the end anyway, because that ties into the you didn't have to have the whole storyline of the first kidnapping, because
You could have just had his daughter get
you
kidnapped.
could have just been like, I mean,
Yeah.
the drug cartel realizes that what Nick Cage is doing with the CIA, so they kidnap his daughter. You didn't have to have the
And that was
fine.
That was the other thing I didn't really think paid off too well, or it was a little. I didn't like the way it was done because I get the whole humor of the movie, and I get it fit within the humor.
Meant to be more lighthearted, so they didn't kind of take some.
But
of the
whole
consequences.
CIA characters as well, I just thought were a little bit too much.
Well,
and again, that goes along with the whole drug cartel. I know Tiffany
Haddish.
Haddish.
And I'll be honest with you, the other guy, I don't think he's funny at all.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
No.
The
That's the
line,
In
the one-
anything he's in, I don't think
I
he's
felt
very
like
funny.
they picked
but
2 very weak comedic actors
Yeah.
to portray these roles, and I was just
True.
like, eh.
That should have been Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart should have
The
been
dude
one of them
Actually,
or
that would have
something.
been funny.
What's his name? That goes Pow. He would have been great. You should have
Oh,
had him.
Doesn't he play? Is it Kronk in?
No, that's Patrick Warburton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
never mind. All right, wrong one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting that. I don't know who that actor's name is though. The one from
I don't
Step
either.
Brothers.
Yeah.
But no, I agree. It's like I just felt like the whole CIA angle, and plus, it just as ridiculous of the movie in the nature of the movie was already. You didn't throw that in there, and it made it even more ridiculous. And I'm like, even if he just shows up here with Pedro Pascal, and somehow there's a drug lord storyline that he gets thrown into without the CIA's involvement, that would have just made it cuckoo enough, but also believable. The fact that you throw these 2 agents in there, and then they rush through this whole plot line of trying to make Nicolas Cage the hero that you see him in all these other movies. I was like, too far fetched, too ridiculous, even for a movie that you already sense is kind of crazy.
As much as I loved all of the throwbacks to his films, when it turns over into the action film, there were I did feel like there were way too many things. If you've seen Face Off, the end of that film, like the climax of Face Off, was basically recreated in this movie.
They reference a lot of
the way he's
Face
holding
Off,
the guy
yeah.
with the gun to his head. That whole scene when they're walking on the patio and they walk towards each other in slow motion. That was all John Travolta and Nick Cage in Face Off. Like, there's so many scenes that were kind of recreated from that film alone.
Yeah.
Like when he dives into the pool and sinks, that's from Leaving Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Like that scene happens in the movie. He just walks into a pool drunk and sinks to the bottom. Like and I felt like that's awesome because it's pulling back to kind of one of his
If you're a
lower
Nick Cage
moments.
fan,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
gonna see it.
right,
Yeah.
yeah. But in the end climax, there was way too many of those scenes that kind of did.
I do agree with
take
that.
you out.
I think he has granted, I know Face Off is a huge cult favorite,
Yeah.
but I feel like he has a lot of other great movies that they could have referenced a little bit more than just Face Off. And I know some of the other smaller ones,
Raising Arizona, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's honestly one of the ones I think put him on
honestly,
the map.
and again, even some of the other ones that aren't as well known, but still cult favorites, like Weatherman. I love Weatherman.
Oh yeah, dude, I forgot about.
I
freaking
love that
Weatherman.
movie. It is hilarious. It's so bizarre, and Michael Caine is hilarious. In
I
that
know
movie.
the guy that he in the beginning that he's pitching the movie to.
Yeah.
And he says, "I'll read for you right now" or whatever. That guy is directed one of the films that he was in.
Okay.
So he got him in there to
Yes,
to
well, I'm
do
trying to
something.
I
think
just wish they had
because-
done a camel toe reference. That just would have been great. That's from Weatherman. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
That
scene with
is a
Mike-
good
No,
one.
that director. I am trying to think of who that director was. He's a famous director. Damn it, I'm trying to think.
He directed something with Nick. I read about
yeah,
it.
I can't remember.
You
Because you could tell he's definitely a director. He's a terrible actor. He wasn't
Yeah.
good in that role.
yeah.
until you see
Of
Michael
playing
Caine
himself.
explain what a camel toe is,
Yeah.
you've not seen a good movie.
Is that the one where people are always throwing slushies at him or something?
Yes,
Or milkshakes or
yes, because
something?
he's the weatherman, but they hate him, so they
It's
throw
so
crap
good.
at him when they see him on
Yeah.
the street. But his daughter's
Adaptation is another
Yes.
great Nicolas Cage
But his
movie.
daughter's kind of overweight, and she got made fun of for having a camel toe. And Michael Caine, who's her grandfather, had to explain to
With
him
that
what
British
this was.
accent,
But
yeah.
it was so great because Michael Caine's like, "Well, a camel toe," and I'm just like, it's one of the best scenes ever.
That is good.
Well, and actually, real quick, that was my other complaint with the film. Going back to Tiffany Haddish, I honestly thought with Tiffany Haddish and Neil Patrick Harris, these two prominent, like well-known celebrity actors,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, if you're gonna make a movie where this is about a fictitious Nicolas Cage, I'm
In
like,
real life,
make
yeah.
him the only A-list actor in the movie. Don't pick other actors that are not really playing themselves.
Yeah.
They're totally different
Like,
people.
when I first saw
like,
Nick-
I was like, okay, once they mention Nick Cage and then you see these others, I'm like, oh, is that really Neil Patrick Harris?
Yeah,
Is
when
he
I
playing
first saw
himself?
Neil Patrick Harris, I
Yeah.
thought he was supposed to be himself until the scene goes on. It's like, oh no, he's playing like some
His
that works-
agent.
Yeah,
and
I was
then
like,
of course
Well,
Tiffany
even
Haddish,
his
it's
wife
like-
and daughter at the
Yeah.
beginning, I was very confused because I was just like, is that his real wife and
It's
maybe
not.
his real daughter in
Right.
the movie? But no, it's not. But,
totally not.
Yeah.
but I was just like, that's
He's got
yeah.
like three
Yeah.
kids
Yeah.
and three different
Yeah.
people.
Pedro Pascal was fine. Like that's fine because he's a lead. I understand having a
Yeah.
no name, but the rest I agree. The background characters I felt like should have either been no names or been playing themselves. And, it would've
And
been
even in the
funnier.
trailer, you see, like, yeah, you could make an argument for Tiffany Haddish because you see that she's not herself.
Yeah.
But even like you see
No one
Pedro
wants to make an
Pascal.
argument for Tiffany Haddish.
True. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, she can be funny, but rarely. Usually complimenting with somebody else.
Say is like Regina Hall can be funny, but
No,
then she's
no,
groping
that's-
men on
that's-
stage.
that's
I've
a-
seen things I thought she was funny. In.
That's a lie.
Scary movie.
The-
That was it.
But it's because of the reactions to her and that she gets stabbed at the end. Isn't that's the scene in the movie theater?
I was trying to remember if that was in the first. It's in the second screen, but I was trying to remember if that was
Yeah.
the first scary movie or the second
I
one.
think it's the first.
She's
scary
in, like,
movie.
the first
Yeah,
three.
because what's his name
Oh,
goes to the
yeah.
bathroom and that's when he
Yeah.
gets his head.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
She's in the first three, and I think she dies in like all three of them. It's so.
So literally, we drudge up a woman who's not funny since like the late '90s, early 2000s.
Early 2000s, yeah.
Okay, well, time to move on. 3.5. No, sorry,
Three.
Three is our official rating for.
Yeah, let's move on to these headlines.
All right, my gosh.
I want to talk about Alec Baldwin now.
Let's. Oh gosh, here we go.
We go talk about Alec Baldwin now
We are
Baldwin.
and Johnny Depp. So I feel like
Yep.
there's a vast majority of people are on the same page with Johnny Depp. So we'll get there.
Well, we'll talk about that right now because I just pulled up the.
Okay,
Sorry,
well, let's go with Johnny Depp.
I pulled up that lower third first.
No, that's fine. Johnny Depp is on. Well, he is not on trial. I mean, he is part of the testimony, but
Yeah.
it's the defamation trial. And some of the videos have honestly been pretty funny. I've watched some of them.
Well, here's the thing. I wanted. A lot of this has been unfolding. I think we're on week 3 now.
yeah.
And
I think she's actually about to take the stand here.
she's
soon,
about to testify,
so-
which that'll
That-
be
hope
Hope
very
she doesn't.
interesting.
Hope she don't crap up there.
I know this is gonna be. It is funny
Like, I'm gonna
because
poop in your chair.
I
It
just love how
is-
they referenced it, like fecal matter.
Yeah.
Like even Johnny Depp was talking about when he was
Fecal
explaining
matter.
it.
Oh, yeah,
She
yeah.
tried to blame it on their dogs, which are 2 little Yorkies.
yes,
And he even said he goes, I know those 2 dogs. I know how they poop. And
Yeah.
he didn't say that. He said, I know what kind of funk.
yeah.
Funk. I was like, what is
My,
this?
my
trial?
favorite was her lawyer objecting to his own question, and the judge because the judge was like, "You asked the question." He's like, "Oh yeah."
And then, and Johnny Depp's just laughing over
I mean,
there.
am I the only one that thinks this is like very
Ridiculous?
publicity?
Oh, it is.
Like
It
this is
is.
ridiculous.
yes
like it's
and
so
no.
entertaining that I feel
I
like
mean-
it's got to be
I don't think it's staged. No.
I'm not saying it's staged. I'm just saying some of the stuff that's being said, I'm like, they know when they say that that's going to be a YouTube video.
Absolutely. I think
that's going to be on TikTok.
I think Johnny
They
Depp
know
and his
it.
team are very smart, and they know that anything he says on stage, because you're supposed to disregard a lot, like the jury is, but at the end of the day, the court of public opinion always plays a huge role.
I was going to say, considering the kind of case this is.
Yes.
And here's the thing. We haven't talked about it much because, again...
Well, it's a defamation trial, so you're trying to prove his character is not what she says it is. So some of the stuff he's doing, making him seem likable and funny on the stand, is proving that he's not the monster she says he is. Go ahead, sorry.
No. But I was going to say, the reason we really haven't covered a lot of this is because, for one, you had the case in Europe that took place, or in England, and the fact that they struck down... They first ruled against him. He appealed twice. They both said that he didn't have the right to appeal, that the court made the right decision, and that was for the libel lawsuit that he had against The Sun, which is an English newspaper. And they called him a wife beater. And this was all based on accusations that she had made, that they had no other evidence. So then you come over to the States, and now there's this defamation lawsuit because, of course, everything that has kind of come from this, and now we're starting to, it was early 2020 that you've seen the leaked audio of her admitting that she slapped him and hit him multiple times. We now have the testimony, of course, of not only him taking the stand, but multiple people who have come to his defense, including Winona Ryder, including his previous long-term...
Doorman had testified that
Doorman,
he'd seen her hitting
bodyguard.
him.
Even he testified he would never even let, he finally said, I'm not going to let you hit, Mr. Depp anymore. I mean, again, we know we still have her testimony coming up, but she's even, after last week's debacle and all the evidence that came out and how poorly her own legal team represented her, she fired her entire PR team the moment she realized that she was losing in the court of public opinion.
She looks like a jackass, and I mean, at this point, it kind of seems like she is. I mean, honestly, the moment you poop on somebody's bed, it's like, okay, at that point...
I mean,
no sane person.
I like the way he even admitted he laughed. He was like, it was so grotesque. He's like, I couldn't help but laugh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you kind of have to think this.
She's a child.
Yes.
Like, that's exactly probably why he was late. He's like, I married a kid.
The worst thing I've seen them pull on him, which I think is ridiculous, are some of his texts. And I'm like, because they're like, look at some of these awful things he said. It's like, I've said worse than text. I mean, and it is. And it's like, when you're making jokes with your buddies, I'm sorry. It's like, they're jokes. They're jokes.
Defamation is something you say to publicly harm a public official or a public person. So it's like, when you're in this case of, I'm sending these private text messages back and forth, how does that hold any kind of water?
He was quoting...
Trying to prove his character, I guess.
Quoting Monty Python with somebody's like, let's drown her. It's like, let's burn her at the stake. It's like, first let's drown her, then burn her at the stake to make sure she's dead. And their quotes, it's a Monty Python back and forth. Yeah. And it's funny because they were using this. Look how awful this is. It's like, they're quoting Monty Python. Are you really that stupid? Like, I don't...
Well, I don't know, and I want to get your all's take on this because I think the other interesting aspect of this is really how, since 2018... when she first made these accusations, she went and she told her story to a Washington Post reporter, and they wrote up this whole entire... This was during the height of the Me Too movement.
Yep.
And
believe all women.
Believe all women.
Hearsay.
And so you could...
That's all it is.
Objection. Hearsay. But it's like, so you couldn't not believe her. You couldn't not take her side.
You have to take the woman's
side. And
so
for the last 4 years now, pretty much 3.5, 4 years... you've had these arguments on her behalf because we've taken her words verbatim and said, this must be the truth.
Yeah.
And now it seems like as evidence is coming to light, and it's so interesting to see some of these, I feel like, same people who were defiantly on her side and against Johnny Depp and ridiculing him, clamoring for him to be canceled from Fantastic Beasts and all of his contracts for Pirates.
Yeah.
And yet now it's like hashtag him too.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's... and here's the thing. I do think you should always go with what the evidence shows, male or female. And I do think it's funny because I have seen people both sides of the aisle, the left aisle, the Me Too people are saying, well, see, this is why we need this because this is shedding light on when males are abused and nobody believes them. And I'm like, okay, but that wasn't the mindset a few years ago.
Males couldn't be abused a few years ago.
Yeah, so it is funny how quickly, based on the court of public opinion, these
but again,
mindsets change.
Do you think this is all because of Johnny Depp and his already? I mean, while it is a defamation lawsuit, it is part and parcel part of his performances and his character over the course of the years and his fandom. Let's not lie, that has put him in the position of being.
I think because
considered the victim.
And here's the thing: I do think like she's guilty. So I mean, I do think justice is being served. But I also think that if it wasn't someone like Johnny Depp, who is so beloved, that this may have been another case of something being swept under the rug, or we're not going to believe the man because he has a massive fan base. That is a lot of I do know a lot of people on the left that love Johnny Depp because of his quirky and eccentric roles, and you have the ones that I'm artistic and I love Johnny Depp. Like I'm not, I've known those types of people. So I think because of who he is, and I think that's a good thing in a sense that we do get to see like real justice being served, but that may not have happened if it had been someone lesser known.
I mean, and I guess again, and I agree, but is it real justice or is it the swaying of how he is perceived? I mean, because ultimately it's going to come down to what the jury decides. Yeah. And right now, I agree. It's like all evidence points to just how vitriolic and how terrible a person Amber Heard is. But yet at the same time, and I'm not saying, the case should be swayed in any one way or the other because of this, but it's like at the end of the day, this artistic, creative person got in bed with that person and decided to, marry that person and treat them as if like, oh yeah, this is who I want to be with, because potentially her artistic and crazy eccentric side showcased, herself, and he was interested in that. And we've seen the Billy Bob Thorntons and the Angelina Jolies with the vials of blood around their neck. We know Hollywood A-listers are not beyond getting, kind of what they deserve with regards to being eccentric and crazy.
And we'll never know, I guess, 100% of the truth, but he did say that she didn't behave that way before they got married, as far as the abusive nature.
So he did it to her?
She would probably claim that.
And he did admit to being an alcoholic. He did say, yes, I am, but I feel like the only person that's hurt is myself. And you can argue it's like, well, that can
that
you
one
say
doesn't
that,
sit with
but
me. I'm kind of like in the boat where it's like
I don't
you
think
made
he's
your
completely
bed,
innocent.
and you kind of have to lie in it a little bit. You have to take a little bit of responsibility.
Yes,
not that he hit her or did anything to her. I do think he is innocent in that regard. But I'm like, when you're addicted to drugs and an alcoholic, and you surround yourself by these kind of people,
that was his obsession,
that made it
not his wife.
But again, that made it easier for her testimony to have weight there in the beginning, because they thought, oh well, Johnny Depp's an alcoholic, of course he's a wife beater,
right?
Like, I mean, that just he set himself up for this failure, and I think in one sense, yes, I hope he's vindicated in the fact that he has not harmed his career and his reputation as a wife beater.
Yeah,
I hope that goes away because of this.
I no doubt,
but it also points out the
has.
hypocrisy, because the same people that were. These are the same people that said Harvey Weinstein's like, oh, he's a godsend.
Yeah,
he's the
heart of gold.
And then
Harvey Weinstein.
And then a year later, he's the devil. Yeah. And it's like these are the same people that flip flopped, and they're doing it now.
They go along with whatever the popular opinion is,
right? And like you said, they turned it into a now men are definitely abused in some situations. We need to draw attention to that. So now they're taking the attention off
Hollywood's
their hypocrisy
opportunistic,
and putting it on to a new. They're shifting the focus.
Yeah.
To get the focus off of their hypocrisy.
I
think it's kind of funny because it's like we always, I think especially nowadays in our culture, it's very easy to see how if you staunchly come out against or for something, you're almost the very next day kind of given a reason to showcase why you shouldn't staunchly come out a certain way, simply because to me, if it's immoral, there's going to be a time in which you're proven dead wrong, and you're proven to be.
Sin will find you out.
Yeah, call a spade a spade. And I think in this instance,
I remember going back to that conversation. It's funny,
but no, it's like to me, I think if anything, so many people, like you said, they're opportunists. They want to come out on a certain kind of side to say, "Well, I got ahead of the game and I called it like it was first right out of the gate," so that if the victory happens to come down on their side, they get to rant and cheer and say, look, see, I was on the right side. But yet it's like we've seen the political lens
it's funny, it's
shift focus constantly.
Not choose sides until we know the facts.
That's exactly
and nobody
right.
wants
Yeah.
because again, it's like when the way the media works now, it's like you got to be the first to break the news. You got to be the first to.
But you don't have to be the first to crucify somebody that's innocent.
Yes, absolutely.
Until you've proven them guilty.
Yeah.
And that's
100%.
exactly. I mean, we see this, and it's not just in Hollywood with celebrities. With that, the poor girl that was the Instagram girl that her boyfriend killed her and then killed himself and all that stuff. It's just like, even in the beginning of that, people were watching her videos and they're just like,
Gabby
oh,
Petito.
Gabby, yeah, Petito. They're like, oh, she's crazy. She probably drove him to kill. And it's like, no, wait until we find the truth and then cast your judgment.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
Well,
it just eats
and
me
again,
up.
it's because, and it's kind of the sick nature of wanting to follow these stories too. I mean, again, we kind of have a culture that's kind of
We're
rooted in.
fascinated with true crime.
We breed that in terms of we're fascinated by it, but our fascination can very rapidly.
But it also breeds more because our fascination with it creates fame for these people, and that's why some of these people commit the atrocities they do.
Sometimes
I'm not saying don't watch your true crime shows, but
it is kind of that idea of like, you go from fascination to I'm trying to think of the right word here and I can't think of it. But it very much becomes unhealthy.
Yeah.
To a degree that you're just
obsession.
an obsession. Yeah.
I remember my mom, and I love my mother, but I remember when O.J. Simpson trial was on.
That was the
my
hugest,
mom.
yeah.
We had satellite at that time, so you could watch that
Everything.
trial live. I mean, you could watch it all day.
Yeah.
Like it was on satellite. It wasn't on cable all day, but she would watch the O.J. Simpson trial every
my mom was the
second
same way.
of it.
Yep.
And it was just like, oh my God. And back then when I was that young, I didn't understand all of it, but I'm just like, I honestly, I see how you can become obsessed and kind of addicted to learning and seeing this unfold.
And how easy it is to forget that yes, there's celebrities and there's such stuff that comes with that you should expect being in the public eye, but also understanding that these are real people. It's not just this is entertaining. I got to find out, did he murder that person? Did he not? And it's like this person actually died. Like that was an actual.
Well, and it's interesting you bring that up because that's kind of why I do want to shift focus to our other topic, which
Good old
happens to
Alec.
be Mr. Alec Baldwin, which we have definitely given our fair share of opinions
Another
on.
case that people
this
are
show.
fascinated with, and understandably so. But again, a real woman died. There was real consequences, and I think that's what I'm most interested in, is seeing that justice is served in this case, because so far and again, I mean, to the extent that it should be, because I'm not saying we need to completely crucify Alec Baldwin, but I do think there's responsibility on his shoulders that he deserves to face what he did. And
I was
going to
say, to me, so much of that reaction, our reaction, and that we've displayed on the show multiple times regarding this incident, stems from our reaction to his immaturity and the way he responded.
That he refuses
to accept responsibility for his negligence.
Yeah.
And I think that, and not only that, but we have the link to a lot of the body cam footage. I won't say all of it because there's some that I couldn't
of that
find.
Was fascinating too.
But there's about 30 minutes of body cam footage that's uninterrupted from like right after the shooting incident had just happened. And then also there's two other instances. One, I think that
him
is
being
telling
interrogated, though you can't hear anything.
No, I don't know about not the one that I linked to. Was it?
No, there's one where he's in like a
oh no
room.
they have that. There's audio of that. I don't know about how much.
The only
of it,
one I've seen is the one where he's kind of sitting down outside and there's two people talking. That's the only one
that's the
I've
one
seen.
we have linked in our description below.
This is in a actual interrogation room.
That one's
not
on
outside.
That one's online, and there's parts of it that have audio.
Yes, parts of it do, and parts of it it doesn't. I think they said like for the whole thing, like the first 20 minutes of it had no audio or something, but you could see him directly. And I know the body cam footage.
But and I also, but there were two things that were kind of telling to me. The parts with Hannah Gutierrez, she specifically, I'm sorry, but the fact that she's an armorer on this set, I mean, you can tell. Look, and I get it. I know she's distraught after what just happened, but her mannerisms, her
I don't think she was ready.
Attitude.
For the job.
She not only was she not ready for this job, I don't think she was ready for any kind of job outside of McDonald's. This girl screams immaturity. She screams just absolute childishness. I mean, the way she reacted to this, I mean, she's sitting here and the way she's just reacting to everything that just happened. She's like, I just screwed up my.
Yeah.
She didn't say
Effed
screwed
up
up.
my whole
I just
career.
effed up my whole career. I just want to get out of here. I just want. And I'm like, a woman's life was just taken.
Yeah.
This is not something about. I mean, you're coming at this from a response of how shaken you are in the moment,
here's the thing.
and it was incredibly.
I don't think that's an unrealistic response. Like, to think to yourself, "Oh man, I've ruined my career," but to voice that out loud to people after that just happened,
Yeah.
like that is to
You
me.
go back in your trailer and you look in the mirror at yourself and say that.
Yeah.
You don't
It's
say
like-
it out in front of
but in front of people, like your first reaction should be, "What happened? Is she okay?"
Well, and the way she says
And
it,
then,
it's as if
you
she's
know-
feigning this idea of feel bad for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
She's seeking sympathy.
because this was her first job doing the role.
But
of
you know,
armor
even shortly after that happened, the media started to try to vindicate her. They started to try to take the focus off her. Oh, well, it wasn't her fault. She's been on other sets before and never had these complaints, and she just got done doing this. And it's like, yeah, but now we see this, and you see, like you said, you see the immaturity and you see the lack of experience. But it's like the media was trying to shift the blame off of her, just like Alec Baldwin tried to shift
he
the
never
blame.
pulled the trigger.
No,
Yeah.
well, that, and he tried to shift the blame to, oh, well, we need, this is why guns are bad.
Right.
And I'm like,
They
okay,
handed,
well,
they handed
yeah.
me the gun and said it was clear. It's like, yeah,
we should never use real guns or prop guns in a movie
Oh,
ever
I
again.
mean, you can hear him talking to the interrogators in the room, and one of the clips that you do see with him in the interrogation room, he's specifically bringing up the other two instances that this happened on a film set, and again, he does a good job explaining the situation, but as well as any actor would. And I'm sorry, but it seems as if it's a performance.
A lot of
the
it
part that
feels-
I was taken aback by the most too was, again, the one you brought up that we do have linked in the description below, the footage where he's sitting outside and he's waiting for the cop to tell him what to do.
yeah.
And the way he just has this kind of attitude of, I don't know what just happened, but I want to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, the guy's explaining to him about how one bullet went through this person's shoulder and it hit this shoulder, and then it went across to her neck or something. Like, he's explaining, and Alec Baldwin's just like, now wait, what now? It went into her
Right,
shoulder, and
right.
it's just like, what does it matter? This
Well, I was
lady's
gonna say,
dead. Like, what does it matter?
The whole tone of their
Yeah,
voice and what just
Well,
happened
everything
seems so bizarre,
to me-
as if these people are just not really focusing on, like, they just seem so out of touch or so removed from reality.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the best way to put it, because they are on a
Well,
Hollywood film
definitely.
set.
I definitely think he is somewhat removed from reality, and every time he spoke, it always seemed like it was coming from a place of, even when he would describe what happened, because he even told the officer
Authority.
that he didn't
Yeah.
pull the trigger. Everything came off as a way of, how do I explain what happened but make it sound like everyone else around me was responsible, not me.
Right.
Because he told the officer, I never pulled the trigger, and then when the officer explained about how maybe it was a faulty dummy cartridge, Alec Baldwin was like, can that even happen? That exists? How can a blank how can a blank fire? And it's like, you're telling me, as long as you've been in Hollywood, and like there rarely, but there have been instances of blanks accidentally going off, that you're going to act like you've never heard of such. Like, it just, I didn't buy it.
I didn't
fully
either.
buy it.
And one that really got me, and again, I'm being, again,
Hating
lack
on
of
Alec
empathy.
Baldwin.
Yeah, because he deserves it, because he's a jackass. But ultimately, there was like the two guys are standing there talking to him, and the cop comes up and he's like, and Alex like, tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, for one, give the guy a sec. He's trying to assess the situation.
Well, again, it seems like
you're
he's
the Hollywood
coming
star.
from, how do I clear my name?
Yeah.
Well, not just that.
yeah, exactly.
It comes from this stance of, he's the one who is the A-lister.
Yeah.
I'm in control of the situation, even though I just made a tremendous, huge
Yeah,
screw
instead of
up.
shutting up and waiting for them to tell
Exactly.
him what to do. Yeah.
I'm the one in charge, is the way he
Yeah.
commands himself. And it's like, no, shut up. You're a Hollywood celebrity that just shot a woman and killed her, even though you didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
And the cop basically tells the two guys that are standing here, he said, what I need you to do is sit there, and these two other guys need to go over here. We don't want you talking to anybody.
Yeah.
Because, we don't want cooperation. We don't want their little,
Yeah.
this is what happened, or this is what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we want to collect all the stories we can, unscathed,
Yep.
so we can get a clear picture of what's going on. And as the guys walk away, they're like, do you need anything? Do you need a water? And Alec's like, I need a cigarette. You have it? And they're like, yeah, I've got some. And he's like, what kind? And he's like, I'm serious. And the guy,
whatever cigarette they give
and the
you.
guy's like,
I've
he's
seen
like,
that,
they're mediums. And he's like, yeah, I guess. And then another woman out of nowhere in the background is like,
I need
do
a
you want
Newport, damn it.
do you want a cigar, or is cigarette okay?
Oh, God.
And I'm like, again, these people are detached. They do not
Yeah.
live
It
in
was just
reality.
shot. Yeah.
This woman is in critical condition in an ambulance on the set still,
Actually, I
and
think
they're worried
at that
about a
point, she was
freaking
already
cigarette.
dead. They just didn't know it. Yeah.
No. They go and check.
Okay.
She was still in critical
Okay.
condition. They said she's stable, but she's critical, and it was before she had passed.
Gotcha.
And that I mean, she was on the set in critical condition.
I haven't seen
Or, I'm
that.
sorry, not on the set. She was in the ambulance in critical condition.
And he's worried about what type of cigarette
for about
he
a
has to
half
smoke.
hour to 45 minutes, and they're all standing around, shocked, but at the same time, yeah, the first thing they're panicking is, oh shit, how does this affect me?
And of course,
It's like,
yeah.
oh crap, what kind of
I'm
cigarettes
just
do we have?
absolute, yeah.
But I mean, it makes you wonder: is the cigarette? Did he really even need it, or did he just want to give off the appearance that he's nervous and flustered by smoking a cigarette?
I think
it's,
both.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's
I'm
like you said.
I'm
it's
so
all
distraught over
partly
what I did. I
performance.
need my ciggy.
It is.
Yeah.
It is constant performance.
Yeah.
And that's what that to me is what I was given.
And rightfully, Helena Hutchinson's family is now pressing charges against
should.
Alec Baldwin. That originally wasn't the case, and I do think maybe they might not have if he had accepted some responsibility. But I think as everything's gone on, I think they too realize, no, if we don't press charges, nothing's really going to be done about this. So
All right, and real quick, our last headline. I just want to briefly mention, of course, the chief of
Master Chief.
Master Chief. Halo has been canceled from Paramount. It's been abysmal.
That's
no,
not true. It's getting a
fake
second
news.
season.
Oh, really?
It's
Yeah.
bad.
They greenlit the second season before the first one ever aired.
I
They wish
quit
they had
watching
done
it
that
after
now.
episode 3.
Oh, it's bad.
I still
haven't watched
quit
downloaded. I
after episode
downloaded
one.
for
I
I
didn't even watch
downloaded for
episode
Brian.
one.
It's
but
bad. Yeah, I haven't
I've
watched
quit watching it
either.
But real quick, the Disney corporate chief officer is out.
He bowed out.
3 months into the job, he I think it's safe to say
He said
he
he didn't-
fumbled the ball
He
on the
didn't
1 yard line.
He didn't
with
want that
regard to-
battle with Ron DeSantis,
Yeah.
and he said, "I'm out."
He basically came in, lost Disney their corporate benefits from the state of Florida, and then he was like, deuces. So we'll see how that all turns out.
Now they hired somebody that used to work for Joe Biden, so I'm sure that'll be just as
Oh,
great.
great.
Hey, well, they're
Yeah.
in good hands.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought that one person who's taken the head position, I think, is already with the company. I forget who it
Well,
was.
she is already with
Yeah.
the company, but before she was with Disney, she
Oh,
worked
well.
with the. Here it is. The news. Blah blah blah. Christina Scheck will lead the Walt Disney Company's communication efforts, serving as our executive vice president, global communications. In this expanded role, Christina will have oversight. Blah blah blah. Where did it go? Her 30-plus years of experience includes roles leading President Biden's COVID-19 vaccine education program.
Oh,
Great
wow.
job. Communications for Instagram, and leadership positions in political campaigns and the Obama White House. So, yeah.
Oh, my
she's
God.
thoroughly
Yeah.
vetted to
Wow.
So you all can tell if you
she's
thought,
vetted exactly to do what Disney wants to do.
I was going to say,
yeah.
if you thought somehow this departure from Disney was going to change the political landscape of
No.
the company, no, they're still woke,
Yeah.
and they still need to go broke.
They're still
So
trying
take
to
it
fight.
to Disney as hard as you can.
Yeah.
Go sign up for other services.
As soon as I read who they replaced him with, I was like, you could tell exactly the direction that Disney's been heading in for a while, and that says it all right there.
the only way you can vote in this
Yeah.
instance is with your dollar. That's all you can do, and continue to hit them hard with all you got. That's all you can do.
Well, that's all I got on that one.
And lastly, our last headline before we move into our Vices segment is, of course, Bill Murray did respond to the
Yeah.
allegations. I think his response. We have a link to the
I
description
agree with some of
or
it.
to the
I
video
think-
below.
I don't think he should have to apologize yet but
No,
you
well,
know.
he's the thing. I don't think he didn't do a blanket apology.
no, he didn't. I
Yeah.
will say
And
that.
this is what I appreciated. What he did was he said, "I made a joke.
I
that
thought it was funny.
I thought was funny. Apparently, the person I made the joke with didn't think it was funny. That's it.
Yeah.
So I apologize in that regard." And he basically
And I
said,
do
"We're
agree
trying to
with
work
that.
things out.
Yep.
And we're trying to make this movie, and we want to continue to make this movie. We do get along, and it was just something taken out of context. And hey, he's a good man for doing that.
I
But I
agree.
like the fact that he didn't try to just say, I offended this person and I'm so sorry for making this offensive joke. And
I think the way he wants to handle it is absolutely 100% the way you're supposed to handle it.
Yep.
I made something and it offended her. We're trying to work it out and see how we can continue working together in the future. We have no hard feelings against her. She none against me. And it's like, okay.
And I
that's,
have
that's
an inkling.
That's
It's
a
funny.
mature.
It's funny because the name of the film that he was doing was called Being Mortal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's a man right there
Who is
being
being
human, being mortal, admitting that he made a mistake. We've all done that. I've said things to you guys that I'm just like, I didn't realize that
it happens.
offended you. I didn't.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't mean that. I thought it was funny, or I thought it was information. I didn't think, and it's like you have to be able to admit that, and then of course, like, move on. And I think it's great too. The fact that his apology was written the way that it was makes me think it's like I'll probably tell that joke again to someone else.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
that gets it, or
Here's
that
the thing.
does,
Well,
that
because
does think
again,
it's funny.
he's sitting here thinking, I'm not going to apologize because this one person was
Right.
offended.
Exactly.
It's like, if you didn't get my humor or you didn't like it, that's fine. We got to
Yeah.
work together in this movie.
And the fact that-
but I'm not going to change who I am because of your offense.
That
Right.
it's
Because
temporarily.
I have to believe that because of the world we live in today, your being offended was probably a touch and a tad on the side of, looking to be offended.
But I will say the fact that they temporarily stopped production just to look into it, and hopefully the way it looks like it'll continue with Bill Murray and him dealing with the actors directly and moving on. That's, like, again, the mature way to handle it. This is how I think it should be done, not how Netflix did with Frank Langella, where, you did something you thought was funny and she didn't like it. Well, now you're just fired.
Well, we guess what? That exactly mirrors the same instance of what we've seen with Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Now, however, they've said apparently the allegations against Frank Langella were proven to be, correct.
Yeah.
That the
Well, I
allegations
think
were
he
right.
did say he did do it, because
But at the same time, I'm sitting here thinking we don't know to the extent
was it like
of
Bill
how
Murray?
inappropriate it was.
It said that he touched her leg and made a joke, because I did remember reading that in the article last week.
So
So it's like,
ridiculous.
but we don't know, like, what, he touched her on the calf, on the knee, or did he go all the way up the skirt? Because there's a difference. And I mean, I'm not saying, yes, unwanted touch is unwanted touch. You should keep your hands to yourself. But there is a degree to which can we be mature and say, I should not have done that. Let's see how we can
Right.
move past this. Like
Yeah.
the Bill Murray incident.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
100%. And this is honestly what I think is going to ruin a lot of productions moving forward in Hollywood. We've already seen it, but the more and more these things get called out and the more and more productions that get halted because of people who can't be mature adults and take these things at face value, they can't have common sense on their mind and say, oh, maybe that was just harmless or that was innocent, instead of blowing things out of proportion. You're going to see a lot more productions affected, and I think you're going to see a mass exodus from a lot of favorites because they just don't want to put up with it. They don't want to fool with this malarkey. Alrighty, guys. Time to move on to our Vices segment.
Show me the money.
I want to know it. What's our topic?
You want to know our topic?
Come on.
Show me the Quan.
All right.
Wow.
I told y'all I would surprise y'all with the topic.
Yep.
Y'all may or may not like it.
Okay, but I'm gonna be surprised either way.
You are.
Okay.
I want to know.
What love is?
I want to know what love is.
Do you know who sings that song, Brandon?
I want you to show me. Jim Carrey.
It's true. I saw it.
He
He sang it.
That's true. Yeah, you got me on that one.
See, I gotcha. Shaka Khan. All right. What's your favorite chip?
Chip. Your
That's
brother.
Oh, I knew
the
that joke was
microchip.
Because he's
Microchip.
smarter than you, so therefore I like him
I'm
more.
not even
Is
a
that
chip.
serious? Is that the?
Yeah. What's your favorite chip?
Oh, that's easy.
Potato.
What is it?
Barbecue kettle chips.
Huh.
Oh, see, that one
That's
kind of off
straight
the
up-
reservation.
That's easy.
What about you, Keith?
I don't know. I don't ever do favorites because I always like more than one
So
thing.
boring.
Nah, because I have multiple things I like. It depends on the mood. It's like what I honest almost
you-
anything
could you do
flaming
with
heart.
either
flaming
or?
heart. If you get a
Flaming
flaming heart, I'll just eat it right here.
Flaming heart.
You get a live heart, catch it fire. No, I like spicy things.
Like
so,
Indiana Jones.
That's what I was thinking. What are those people called?
Oh, no, Shabai.
so yeah, anything spicy generally. I mean, honestly,
Flaming hot Cheetos.
Taki makes these ghost pepper
Did
chips
you
that
know
are
they got
amazing.
flaming hot Mountain
Mountain
Dew?
Yeah,
Dew.
it's gross. It's
Have
disgusting.
you tried
tried
it?
it.
Yeah.
I watched
Ki-
a guy do a review on.
It was the most
TikTok,
Kyle
it was
thing. You
funny.
ever see the Kyle memes about Kyle's gonna like
Yeah.
My brother-in-law Kyle bought 2. He's like, we got to try this, and it was the most Kyle text I've ever gotten because like only Kyle no, but yeah, I was just like, I was like, that looks gross, and we tried it, and I did not like it.
Okay. I haven't tried it yet. So.
Here's the thing: it's lime flavored,
Yep.
and it has like a heat back
Yeah.
like aftertaste. And that's what it gets you because it's in the back of the throat. And I'm like, this is not pleasant. Like, this is not like, I don't want it. No.
So I'm a pansy. So
You
I
wanna
would
pass
say no.
on that?
I would try it.
It's not hot like that. Like,
but I'm afraid I wouldn't like the taste.
you could handle it, but I don't think you would like it.
Yeah, I don't think I would.
Like it's not. That's just
like,
saying.
well, I just don't understand. Like eating
not
something
everything
hot
needs to be flaming hot. Like, what
Exactly.
the hell is wrong with
But
redneck Americans?
drinking
I don't know.
hot, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I couldn't drink something
Look,
hot.
I know rednecks. We like our Mountain Dew. We like our flaming hot, but we don't need them together. We don't.
About like a hot ice cream.
I'm
That
sure
would-
they have
that
that
would
somewhere.
actually be-
Actually, they do have like. and
They
the-
have ice cream with
The Red Hots.
no, but what's
Oh.
what's the stuff that
capsaicin
the
crystals?
No, the stuff that the Japanese dip stuff in. What is
Wasabi?
that? Wasabi.
Yeah.
Is that Japanese or Chinese?
Asian.
Wasabi
It's
ice
Asian.
cream.
I don't mean to
I
get
bet
it
that would
wrong and
probably,
offend
if you
somebody.
put the right. Actually, that
But
would
yeah,
be good.
I've seen ice cream
Because it
with
doesn't have the
wasabi on
flavor.
it.
If you have the right flavor, and then you just get that nasal heat, and I like that. I might try. But they do. They make
It'd
like.
just be cool to have something hot that's supposed to be so cold.
Well, they have.
It's
Yes.
supposed to soothe.
Well, that's
you.
why I thought maybe it was the capsaicin crystals because they make donuts like that are actually really good
Hey.
because it's just the capsaicin crystals, so you get the sweetness.
But
with
see,
the heat.
don't-
Dr.
Donuts-
Bronner's when
Yeah.
you get it in the pee hole.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
That mint,
eyeball.
That's supposed to be.
But it cools as the wind blows.
That was the
You
weirdest.
sit naked for a half
And
hour
blow
on it.
after.
And blow on
no,
it.
just let the
Bronner's?
wind blow
Yeah,
past it.
yeah.
Your
I sit
pee
naked.
hole, man, it feels good.
I sit naked after Dr. Bronner's. It
Yeah.
does feel good.
You step out of the shower and it's like
No, the
tingling.
weirdest feeling is when I got it
Yeah,
in my
it
eye because
burns
the
in
whole
the-
eyeball was. It wasn't
Oh,
burning.
yeah.
It was just cold, and I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
like
weird.
having Vicks in your eye.
Yeah.
Or something
Yeah,
like that.
my latest is if I'm washing my hair and it gets a little bit in my mouth. There's like a weird like Vicks Vapo Rub.
It's the
taste.
peppermint oil
yeah,
that you're
it's
getting
kinda
in your
nasty.
because
Yeah.
you're getting like
Yeah.
pure peppermint oil in there.
Technically, you can take like a drop of it and put it on your toothbrush, and you
Yeah,
can brush your
brush your
teeth
teeth.
with it.
Oh no!
Oh, it's you could use it
I
on
wouldn't-
anything.
I know, but the taste wouldn't be.
No,
nah.
I've used it because it does say you could use it as a shaving
I
cream.
love
I've
how
done
we
that
got
before.
we got so far off topic.
We did.
It's I mean all of
What's
us
your
have done
favorite
it.
chip? I don't know. What's your favorite shampoo?
hold on.
Dr. Bronner's.
Well, we all would agree with Dr. Bronner's.
What's your favorite chip?
Yeah,
Uh,
Doritos.
I
The
was gonna
one
say
chip.
Doritos.
You're on an island. There's
Okay.
nothing but
Okay,
a bag of
if it's
chips.
not
What's it
flaming
gonna be?
hot,
Here it is.
it's Doritos. I agree with that.
I could eat Doritos anytime.
Yep.
I will
Yeah,
admit
those are
that.
good.
That's
It's
kind of my
bad.
de facto like absolute
Flaming hot Doritos. I'm all there.
no.
They're good.
But honestly, my go-to if I have a choice with all the chips, there's two: white cheddar Cheetos
Yeah.
or Sun Chips Harvest Cheddar.
Now, are Cheetos a chip?
They're corn chip.
I would say yeah.
Okay.
It's
They're
a-
actually
if it's
technically
in-
they're corn.
White
puffs.
cheddar Cheetos. I thought you meant Cheez-Its. My bad.
Well,
Cheez-Its are
actually,
crackers.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you all.
Actually, if you include
if you want to
Cheez-Its,
include Cheez-Its,
Those
I'm
aren't
okay with
chips.
that.
those are
not
good,
chips.
but they're not chips. These I do get
Because I was gonna say originally I wasn't even gonna go with favorite chip. I was gonna say Doritos or Cheez-Its.
Oh man, Cheez-Its, but Doritos are close.
Mm.
I get
Oh,
these,
you're going
these
with Doritos?
Mediterranean pita crackers or chips, and they're amazing. They are.
Oh wait! I do
They
have
are.
one actually, which beats all those.
Oh.
The Ritz sour cream baked.
Nope.
No.
Those are,
are good, but
freaking
no.
Sour cream, I'm out.
fantastic. Those chips, I could eat a whole bag in one sitting.
Now here's the thing.
I will take those. Those are my favorite chip.
I will do
So good.
sea salt and vinegar kettle chips. Not now. I did do. I'm on the diet.
Those
now.
are good.
Those with like some Dean's French onion dip is
Yeah.
amazing.
No,
Is
yeah.
amazing.
The
I like
black
the
pepper.
chips. I like their other chips,
Yeah.
but I don't like sea salt and vinegar.
Oh, those are good.
Yeah, I was gonna say mine with black
I like
pepper.
the barbecue.
Or the
mesquite barbecue.
jalapeno. They
Black
do the
pepper,
jalapeno
oh.
kettle chips.
Oh, the jalapeno
Yep, I
Snyder's.
got some of those right
Those-
now.
those are
Snyder's
amazing.
jalapeno pretzel
no,
bites.
Mrs.
So or the honey mustard.
The
oh,
ones-
so
Dots.
The
good.
ones from
Dots
GFS that
pretzels.
we took to the lake, Mrs. Whatever they were, those kettle chips, those were amazing.
What were they?
Yeah, what
The
were
little
those?
mini bags that we had, they're Mrs. something. They came from
Oh,
GFS.
Vickers,
Yeah.
I think.
Mrs.
Miss
Vickers,
Vickers or
something like that.
Miss Vickers?
I know. I'm serious
with it.
because
They might be. They were good.
they're jalapeno. They
Those
have them
were
at
good.
Those
Subway.
jalapeno chips were fantastic.
Subway's
Yeah.
got them. They carry those.
But Kroger's has like their own brand of kettle chips
They
that are
do.
jalapeno. And they're
Those are good. The black pepper's good on those.
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
my
They
favorite.
got
of
one
those.
that's called Cuban sandwich
Miss
and it
Vicky's.
tastes like
Miss
Miss
Vicky's.
Miss Vicky's.
Vickers.
I was close.
You were close.
I
You,
was
were, you
close.
knew there was a Vic in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
But then
okay.
what? Wasn't there?
I don't know, man.
Hold on. What? There's Grippos.
Grippo. I like
Grippos
Grippos.
are good.
I like
Grippos,
Grippos.
Those are all right.
Barbecue chips.
That was high school,
Yeah.
man.
Yep.
Grippos. I still get some Grippos from time to time.
Same. Jimmy
Well-
John's has got some good chips when you order their subs.
I'll be honest with you because like now like I am doing that kind of the diet and it depends on what I eat. But I can do certain like I do the pita chips because I can have those and those are really good. But like there are baked chips as long as like the saturated fat and trans fat are real low. Baked Flamin' Hot Cheetos are actually really good. They have no trans fat and only 0.5 saturated
See,
fat.
and that's
so
okay. The
yeah.
baked white cheddar Cheetos.
those are pretty good.
The
I've had
the
those.
puffs, not the crunchy. The
See, I don't like
the
puffs.
puffs.
The
No,
the
I don't
puffs
do
are better
puffs.
I
because
don't
the
like
crunchy
puffs.
you don't get the white cheddar flavor.
Yeah.
It's
Mm.
kind of
And maybe that's why. 'Cause
Yeah.
See, I've had the white cheddar crunchy and I didn't care for them.
I didn't like them.
But I've never bought the puffs because I don't like Cheeto puffs.
No,
Oh, I love
too
Cheeto
airy.
Puffs.
They're too airy.
Oh, so good. The only thing I hate is the mess they leave on your fingers and of course in your
That's
mouth.
part of why
they
I don't
get
like
in
'em.
your teeth and on your
Yes.
gums.
That's
You got
ex-
to pick
Yeah.
them.
That's exactly why I
Yeah.
hate them because
Yep.
they get stuck in the crevices of my teeth and I don't want to.
And you're
have to
sitting
dig
there
them
doing-
all out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't-
like
Yeah.
for a half hour after you eat, or you're digging in
Yeah.
and trying to get
Trying to get it off the
Yep.
roof of your mouth.
Yep. But yeah, no. Doritos or Cheez-Its? Y'all already decided?
That's a
I'm
Cheez-Its.
Doritos. I know Neil in Boston. He would be Cheez-Its.
I'm Cheez-Its.
Yep.
for sure.
If you
See,
had
I
to
can
live
eat a
without
handful of Cheez-Its and that's it. I can eat 2 bags of Doritos. I will not stop.
That's a good point.
That
If
is
you
true.
were
I will
to say if
not
you can't
stop.
have one or the other, and then I had to second think because I was like,
Doritos are so.
because
good.
I'm just
no,
I
it's
think
making me
so
want some.
good.
well, that's
Doritos
why I had
and
to.
a freaking Mountain Dew or
That's
a Pepsi
why I had
or
to
something
say
would
second guess
be
because
great.
if you say you can never have one again, I'm like, yeah, I could probably do without Cheez-Its.
And I
before
love
Doritos.
Cheez-Its.
I do love Cheez-Its,
and
but
I will say one of my
when I'm being
favorite.
fat, I'll go through like I did like that. That's how I got all this. is
You eat a
go
bag
through
of
whole
Doritos
bag of-
watching a movie. just
Well,
like,
but here's the
Yeah.
thing: Coke in a glass bottle, or even in just like a regular glass, with Cheez-Its is fan.
that's
I
good.
could eat a whole box of Cheez-Its.
Coke with
Yes.
I'll
Drinking
do that
some
with
Coke.
salted peanuts and Coke.
Yeah.
In a glass bottle, throw a couple in there. It's good.
See,
Oh,
I've heard
You-
that.
You drop some salted
you
peanuts.
talked
That's a
about this
Southern
before, and I've
thing.
still
Yeah, I've
never
never
had
done
it.
it.
Throw some salted peanuts in your glass bottle of Coke. It's so good.
Throw
Try
some
it out.
Mentos in there.
I don't know about
Oh,
Ew. But no, you have brought that up before on
It's
the
good.
show,
yeah.
and
no,
I've
it's
not tried
It's
it.
like a Southern
that. Yeah.
thing. I
It's
don't
good.
know.
I need to try that. I was
You just
told
get that salt and sweet. It's good.
this is totally off topic, but I was told by a sales rep at work.
Mm-hmm.
They said that an opposite energy boost in the morning besides coffee, you could do a cup of water
Mm-hmm.
with some. You heat it up, put some lemon juice in there,
Mhm.
or like take half a lemon, squeeze it in there,
Yeah.
and some. I think it was
Crack cocaine. Yeah, that'll give you.
Yeah,
an energy
crack
boost.
cocaine, yeah. Is it? Oh gosh, what was it?
Cayenne pepper.
Cayenne pepper.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's a weight loss drink.
It's a it boosts your
What?
metabolism.
Yeah, it boosts your metabolism.
Y'all have heard of this?
Oh yeah. There's
And
dude.
He said it,
this was
it
a,
tasted better than coffee.
This was no. This was like
That's what
this was a
he-
Water,
this
lemon,
was
and
one of
cayenne
those,
pepper? I don't know about that.
One of them Facebook trends years ago was drinking water. You take a water bottle and you put a couple of squirts of concentrated lemon
gonna
juice
try it.
and
I got all
cayenne
this to
pepper,
do it at
and you
home.
shake it up and chug it and drink it, and it's supposed to like rock your metabolism.
Yeah.
right off the
That
bat
or-
and burn
he
fat.
said it would just give you a huge energy boost
Yeah,
for the day.
Yeah, because it boosts your metabolism.
Yeah, it boosts your
That or
metabolism.
a little bit like
It
if
makes you crap,
If you do
too.
like a
It's
capful,
fine with me. I need to go.
if you
Yeah.
do like a capful of apple cider vinegar and pour it into a bottle of
That's
water,
and that's
that
what
works
that's
too.
what my IT
That
manager
works too.
said.
Just
Yeah.
no,
That's
just
another
a cap.
fat. It's a fat burner. and
I've done
it
that.
boosts your metabolism.
It
That's
does.
all it does.
It does. It did help. I have done that, and it's not bad if you mix it with the water.
Wait. You said a cap
Just
cap
just
of
do
apple
like a
cider
cap of apple
vinegar.
cider vinegar
in just water.
in water.
Yeah.
Because some people, and they advise you not to do this because it
Some
can
people
burn
drink
your
it
throat.
straight.
Some people just do a shot straight. Nathan Curry used to do that.
Yeah.
I have read online that with some people it can actually burn the inside of your throat because you're just drinking raw vinegar.
Right.
And I think it
I'm-
tastes terrible, so I've never done it
You're
straight.
supposed to get the apple cider vinegar with the mother in it too.
Yes.
The what?
They have organic. That's the wispy stuff you see in the.
It's called the mother.
Yeah.
I don't
The
know.
mother.
It,
I
it
don't
has
know what
all
that
of
is.
the probiotics.
What is that?
That's the. It's basically a fungus. That's your
Mhm.
probiotics, but
Mhm.
you want that in there because it helps your gut and your
Mhm.
metabolism.
so you can buy it with the mother.
Yeah.
In it.
Yeah, you can buy it with or without the
here,
mother.
I'll show you what I buy.
With the mothers, it's like cloudy and stuff.
Yes, it
With-
has.
Without
you
it,
do
it's
see
like
this wispy.
nice and clean.
Yeah,
Is there? Can't you? Because I have
I can
some
take a
white vinegar. I
picture.
don't think I have apple.
mine has
cider.
all kinds.
Does
this
white
right
vinegar
here.
work the same?
No.
It has to be apple cider.
No, it has to be
vinegar.
apple
White
cider
vinegar is almost it's just for cooking.
It's just distilled.
Yeah.
Well,
this
and you
right
can
here.
clean with it.
That's what I buy. It has. the
Hold
mother
that
in
up
it.
to the.
Just brag apple cider vinegar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that has with the mother. See it on the bottle there, bottom.
With the mother.
Because I can get my bottle out at home. I'll send a picture and show
What
it to
if
you
you
later.
want one
you
with
can
the
see,
child?
Well,
It's got the placenta. in it.
anything that has like, anything that has like
they're not gonna be able to sell that for much
fermentation,
longer.
Yeah, anything
Roe
that has
v. Wade.
fermentation has like olives. Olives can have like if you ever like have a really old jar of olives and you start seeing that wispy stuff growing in there, that's mother, and that's just perfectly safe. It's good for your body.
It's good for your body. It's not good.
It's just
it's like it tastes terrible.
I guess if you like olives or vinegar,
I'm gonna
tastes
try it.
fine.
I say why not? Why the hell not? Let's try it. I'm still losing weight. I'm on the last month of my Nutrisystem.
That
I've lost 30
that
pounds.
used to be like that bottle is.
I tried to do.
Still need 20 more
I tried
pounds
to
to go.
do the lemon juice and cayenne, and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I want to try it.
It used to be like $3.99 a bottle.
You don't like cayenne pepper? It's
But
hot.
I feel like if it's mixed with that and the
How,
lemon,
did
I
he
could,
say how much of the cayenne pepper? I can.
Yeah, you
sure
don't put.
I'm not
you don't
sure.
put much. It's
Yeah,
like
I
a.
don't- yeah.
It's like a.
Well, I mean,
dab.
I'm sure I could
a
handle
teaspoon
a lot
or,
if I wanted
or
to, but
half
yeah.
a teaspoon or something.
Well, I
like
figure
that.
it wouldn't be a lot with the apple cider vinegar.
It's not enough
a
to
lot.
turn the water red. Like it's just kind of like almost like lemonade with cayenne pepper in it. Like, but you use concentrated lemon juice.
It's okay, I'm
You squirt
jujuling it.
a couple of.
I mean,
have
I'm
lemon
willing to
juice.
try it. And if it here's the thing: if I feel like it's going to be like those
you don't
5-hour
sip it.
power
you
shots
gotta chug it.
where the effect for me was great the first like 3 times.
I'm not
I did
worried
it.
about the energy thing. I just
Yeah,
want
I
to see if it
didn't- I
helps.
didn't
But see, then
lose
what-
weight.
It doesn't give you a caffeine kind of boost.
He made it sound like it does.
Maybe for him it does. I always heard it was like
it
it was a metabolism.
You'll
booster,
feel
so-
you'll sweat, like you'll feel your body heat.
Oh, it
because
does
your
say
metabolism's going.
See, you'll love this. It does say it can radically reduce heartburn and acid reflux. It'll help your GERD, Brandon.
I don't have GERD anymore.
Let's see. 6
My
amazing.
GERD's been gone since I started Nutrisystem.
Well, that's
Since I
good,
started
'cause
running.
you're eating
That's
healthy.
great.
And my sleep's
it says
been better.
It detoxifies your system, boosts your metabolism, fights infection.
Is this the apple cider?
Yes, it does. Say, no, this is the cayenne lemon.
Yeah.
it does say.
Oh.
it does say it could substitute caffeine. Let's see. Cayenne pepper is a stimulant. Huh.
That's what he said. He said it.
Okay, here's
Because
the
it
deal.
kickstocks your metabolism.
Let's
it
get
gives you an energy
let's get the
boost.
recipe.
We'll do it on the show.
Do it for a week.
Improves
and then come
digestion.
back and talk about how we feel.
I think we
Yeah.
should start it on the show.
I
We
wanna,
should have our
can't-
first taste on the show.
I wanted to start
Well,
it soon. That's
I-
going to
I
be
was
gonna
next
start it
week now.
tomorrow.
Actually,
yeah.
he said he was going to bring it in tomorrow.
Why
to
don't we
let
just
me try
all?
it.
Why don't we just all live stream ourselves trying it? Because I have everything at home I need for this.
That's
so I
I'm
can-
fine with that.
We'll just live stream
Take a
us,
video of
and
it.
we'll put it on Facebook. Each of us live streaming ourselves doing our little
Let's
water.
do it.
And then we'll see what happens in a week.
And I'll try the apple cider vinegar trick too. I'll try that. Why not?
Well, don't want to. I don't think you do both at the same
No,
time.
no. I'm saying, like one.
It's like that'll
'cause-
replace your coffee.
But
You
here's
do
the
both
thing.
of
I
them
mean,
at
I'm
the
sure
same
it
time.
wouldn't hurt you to do both, but
I'd
then you wouldn't know
say,
which
like,
one.
this
But you
stuff's
wouldn't know.
great.
But you wouldn't know which one was doing the job and which one
Yeah.
wasn't. if
no,
you do it both.
obviously, yeah. You have to have
Let's
a
do this
control.
for a week, and
right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
then we'll do the
Yeah,
apple
yeah,
cider
yeah.
vinegar and see which kind of balances out and see which one does the best.
Okay.
But
See,
yeah, I'm willing.
I take these little pills that are called oil of oregano, and
Yeah.
It's like a fish
those-
oil. It's like
that
an
or
omega-3
those
like,
will-
supplement.
Garlic pills,
Yeah.
turmeric pills, and fish oil, like omega. I've heard all
Yeah.
three will help
the
you a lot.
oil of oregano will give you a boost, and you literally about 10 minutes after you take it, you'll start to be like you'll sweat around your neck. Like it really does. It heats you up. Like you have a hot flash.
Wow.
Like it's crazy. I feel like I'm going through menopause.
Because hey, you could be a birthing person. I don't know.
Hey.
So maybe you are.
It just says yeah.
I'll be an emoji.
It literally just says half a lemon and a dash of cayenne. So
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you don't have lemons,
You
you
can
can
use
use
lemon,
the squirt,
yeah,
the
that's-
concentrated.
I-
they usually have, I think,
that-
on there how much is equal to
yeah,
like a
yeah.
full
half
I
a
have
lemon?
that for
Yeah.
cooking.
I
so
do the
have
same
that,
thing,
yeah.
but I've used it in water and different stuff too because
Yeah.
it's just.
I always
easier.
wanted to just like when
It's
when
100%
I was
pure
little.
lemon juice. So
I was gonna say when I was little and my mom had like the lemon and the lime. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
the,
Yeah.
the fake little bottle, and
Yeah.
I thought it was like,
that looked like the
Yeah.
lemon and lime.
and
Yeah.
I thought it was like juice. Like I want to squirt that. And like no, you don't.
That's sour.
Yeah.
That's good.
I enjoy it.
Ugh.
I like sour though.
It's making me. It's
It also
giving me
says
that-
a tablespoon of honey is optional, but since we're trying to test this, I say we just do the lemon and the cayenne.
Yeah,
since we
'cause
don't
How
know
much
that.
cayenne?
It just says a dash. It just
so
one
just
dash.
like a that's like
Yeah.
a that's it.
I'm gonna put a whole
Speak.
teaspoon in it
That's
now.
I don't know. A dash is an actual like measurable. Like you can measure. See what a dash equals to. I don't cook.
How
Come
much
on,
is a
Kroger
dash?
Kroger employee, help us out.
There are no precise definitions for these old-time cooking measurements, but generally most sources today suggest that a dash is scant 1/8 of a teaspoon. I always thought, that's what I do when I do a dash. Is just
that's what I thought.
Finger
It's like a pinch.
But it says generally that's
usually they say a pinch of salt.
It says a pinch is about 1/16 of a teaspoon.
So two pinches.
So yeah,
2 pinches
hold
is
on.
a dash.
So a dash is 1/8, a pinch is 1/16, and a smidgen is 1/32.
Smidgen. Yes.
So so there we go. Now
Nice.
we know.
Okay.
Okay.
What if you're a
Glad.
midget? What's the same
That's
measurement?
a smidgen.
Well, it's all it's all based off of a teaspoon. So 1/8 of a teaspoon.
I feel like
That's so bad.
What is that?
That's so dad joke.
Oh,
right
what
there.
is that? I'm thinking of the Labyrinth, where the old lady's just walking through the room and like,
Oh, yeah.
toss
Yes.
this in and toss that in.
Here's your bear. You love your bear.
I'll take that. And I'm just like, that's what I'd be doing in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Toss a little bit of
You
this.
sound
a
like
little
Julia
salt.
Childs.
It's-
A pinch
that's-
of this and a pinch of that.
That's when I cook.
and a lot of love.
I very rarely use exact measurements. So then when I have to give recipes to other
I
people,
just shake stuff.
Like
Yeah.
I have to tell them it's like this is everything I use. I can't give you exact
yeah.
amounts because I do it to taste. I'm
Right.
like, okay, and
Yeah.
you know.
All right.
That's it. That's going to do it for this episode. Thank you all so much for tuning in to another episode of the Red Moon Podcast. We love entertaining you all every single
Oh, you
week.
get the dog all messed up. Look, there
I
she
think
comes.
it's that voice, man. He always finds a way to get her over there.
always find a way to make
He was talking like he had a cleft lip
there
there
at
for a
the
second.
bottom of your screen, we
What
got
does it
all
say?
of our social media accounts. Red
all
Moon
the
Book,
socials.
Red Moon Tweet, Red Moon Pics, and search for Red Moon Productions.
What if you don't
on
like
YouTube.
social media? What if you're giving up Twitter, Facebook, and all these places? Maybe not Twitter.
I actually
now,
just
but
got back on
all the-
Twitter.
Yeah.
Somebody did.
And they still want to talk to us, but they can't do it through social.
There's that
And they don't
old-fashioned
have our
way,
phone
Keith.
numbers or our address. So what do? They use the electronic emails,
And it's right there at the bottom of your
which
screen.
is redundant because that would be electronic mail. But still,
You know what else does that?
can I read it?
No, VIN number.
don't
Everybody
care.
says VIN number, but it means vehicle identification number.
That's true.
So vehicle identification number.
There's a few other things people do that too.
ATM machine,
Yeah.
and even though it's automatic transaction machine,
Yeah.
Yeah.
machine.
There are a few. There are a
There's
few.
All right, yeah.
So
now it's
anyways-
at the bottom of your screen.
Right here.
That was good.
There.
RM
Am I
Podcast.
stroking it? RM Podcast at redmoonproductions.com.
That was just beautiful. Beautiful.
Send us your favorite chip.
Yeah, let us know.
Hockey.
That's gonna do it. Until next time, I am one of your hosts, Brandon Davidson, alongside our normal new host,
Sean Sebastian.
and
I don't know.
that's it.
I don't know. I don't know.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. For more reviews, previous podcast shows, and everything Red Moon, visit our website, redmoonproductions.com. You can also like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for Red Moon Productions, LLC. We'll see you at the movies.